And all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey, you dorks, this is Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you are listening to The Dorkening.
Hi, I'm Brian Johnson, and although you probably accidentally stumbled across it and have no idea why you're watching it, you are in fact watching The Dorkening.
Hello, this is Tom Kenny, voice actor, the voice of the Ice King on Adventure Time, and SpongeBob SquarePants. Meow. Oh, Gary the Snail, too. Hey, guess what you're filling your eye holes and ear holes with? The Dorkening! Oh, I love the Dorkening. Very popular in Ooh. And Bikini Bottom.
Hi, I'm Lou Ferrigno. You're watching The Dorkening. And you know what? You don't like me when I get angry, so don't get me angry. You better keep watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, this is Felissa Rose, and you're watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, it's Courtney Palm. We're shooting Death House, and you're watching The Dorkening.
This is Anthony Michael Hall, and you're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned, my friends are going to show you what entertainment's all about, baby.
The Dorkening.
I couldn't.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Ganja Gospel. We're going to be talking about the book of Enoch today, and giants, and Noah, and some fallen angels. Shout out to the Dorkening and still Toking with the network, Hellfire Radio. You guys freaking rock, man. I was watching a thing they were doing the other day where none of them were there. They had it was a different show.
Yeah, they have a lot of different shows, just cool. Like ours. Yeah. We're a different show on their network.
I've never seen a different show pop up, though.
That's
but
cool.
I did for this one. I watched it. I was like, this is fucking cool.
Very cool. They have a lot of stuff on there. They're very into nerdy horror things. So if you like nerdy horror things, then you found yourself a home.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So cheers to everybody.
Cheers, everybody.
Welcome. It's Sunday.
It is Sunday Fun Day. What have you got on your fun day list today? We're reading, smoking, and then later we're going to be gaming. That's what we're going to be doing.
That's right.
That's our Sunday Fun Day dealio.
So if any of you freaks are playing Far Cry and Koga is one of your characters, you know what I'm saying? You can come over and jump in our game and we can shoot them up. Kill cultists.
Yeah, man.
Killing cultists in Alabama, and they're all white. None of them are black. So, you know, don't get all crazy with us.
But yeah, that's our game of choice currently, Far Cry 5. So cheers to that. But yeah, let's get into this. Today we're talking and reading about the book of Enoch. We are damn near done with our book here, the book of Og, Enoch and the Giants. So we have this little part here and another little part after that. We'll probably go back and reread the 10,000 Giant War. 10,000, is that what it's called? And really break that apart. 100,000 Giant War. It was like lots of giants.
Yeah, because I got a whole nother side angle to that bit for you. Whole nother side angle. That shit's crazy because there's a whole race and religion of people that say Nimrod was the bad guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nimrod was on the side of the fucking dick slicers. That means the side of what y'all call God.
It's true.
The other dude was the fucking giant. He was a huge fucking giant made from the fucking fallen angels and the fucking slave race people, right? These people were fucking eating motherfuckers, cutting their hearts out, drinking blood, eating babies. So if you think Nimrod was a bad guy, do you think they're the good guys? Because I was just wondering, like, that's my most.
It's really a perspective thing when you think about it and how things evolved from those two paths. I think really, because the evolution of those particular things, it's wild. It's wild because technically we've evolved from Nimrod's area, or
yeah, these people
thought pattern, or whatever the case may be, belief system. Cheers, hash slinging hatter.
Nimrod is Gilgamesh.
Sister Golden Hair, cheers. Mr. Fucker, cheers.
So you need to know that, right? When you're reading the story, and go read Gilgamesh, the Epic of Gilgamesh, and you're gonna be like, hold on a minute now. Like, what's happening? Like, because they had two different areas. One was over here doing their thing, and the other guy was over here. And behind them all, over them all, just like, in Black Entertainment, we know who's behind them, right? We all know who's behind them. So it's the same thing, guys. We got all the people, back then all the people were black. So all the people that are today, over them, right behind the scenes, pulling the strings, is always some fucking Anunnaki. There's some Anunnaki back there. Either it's Enki, Enlil, Marduk. Now, okay, now there was a war. We heard about this war in heaven, right? I don't think anyone paid attention to who won. We all probably thought just God won. We all thought Jesus won. How the fuck do we think that when everyone is a demon around us? Everyone's got a demon in them. They literally say they do rituals, and they feel the demon in them. They transform and levitate like all your famous people. They say they sell their souls. They say this is how they get rich and famous. They say this to you. So how can we think that God won this war? How can we think that Jesus won this war? There's never. What war are you talking about? Right? There wasn't a war. There was 100,000 Giants war. Then there was a flood. Then everyone was able to make new people again, right? And then there was a war between the gods, what you call the gods, Anunnaki, that made an evil wind that destroyed the world. So some people say the white people were found in caves. Well, I'll have you know, everyone went in caves at that point in time. If you didn't go in a cave for 150 years, you died on the planet. There was one place on the earth that the whole place was still good. And I tried to tell you guys before that it was Ireland. And I don't think y'all wanted to believe me. But, I had to read the whole history of Ireland again. And it solidified everything because all the refugees of earth went there at one time and fought together over fucking Ireland and became the Celts. Where'd the Greeks go? Where'd the Greeks go? Where'd the Babylonians go? Where'd the Egyptians go? Where'd the Assyrians? Where'd all the people of the world go? They literally became the fucking Celts, dude. Go read it. Go look. You're going to shit a brick because that was when the evil wind happened. The ant people, all the motherfuckers, all the underground civilizations that could fit 50 to 60,000 people underground. Their whole thing was under there, right? They painted on the walls and shit. But people think that was before they built all the shit on the planet. No, man. They either went down there or fucking died because that war happened between them and they destroyed everything in North and South America. That's why we got melted buildings everywhere that y'all dumb motherfuckers think it's a mountain. That's an eroded mountain. Y'all need to go to a mine camp. Go to a mine somewhere where they're mining material out of the ground. Get a real good gander at what the fuck that shit looks like. And you're going to go everywhere on this planet and go, oh, that was a mine. Oh, that was a mine. Oh, wait a minute. I'm standing in a mine. All the lakes, these lakes that are all around here and shit, those are just little pools that they have to put the water. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about it on a totally different scale, dude.
I was going to say on a giant scale.
Arizona is a whole big ass mine. Go scale back and be like, well, damn, there's the whole, what do they call that? the pile that comes out. The
Pay dirt?
No, not the pay dirt.
I don't know. I'm guessing.
There's a pile of rocks that come out. The tailings. It's all tailings. It's all tailings. Every one of those fucking mountains, foothills, and shit. I guarantee you, dig that shit up, it's gonna be a whole bunch of little rocks. You know? So, you know, different things happen on this planet, and it's wild, man. Behind all of it, right? Remember, we were the slaves. I don't give a fuck what way you look at it, what color you think people were, what color you are. That doesn't matter. You need to throw away your emotion on this. We were slaves. People then were slaves to the Anunnaki. You call them God. I don't give a shit. It's the Anunnaki, right? There was other beings that came here and interacted with the human slave creation, with the primitive worker. Now we can go into Africa and you find these tribes that have ancient fucking history of different species coming there, like the Nomos, I think it was, these water creatures, right? Totally different than the Anunnaki. They didn't want the Anunnaki to know they were there. They taught these African tribes, these one tribes, you got to remember, primitive workers. They split up in tribes. Go about the earth and proliferate or whatever the fuck. Yeah, make more people. That's what they wanted. So y'all think they were in little area, little caves, little Eden. No, motherfucker. I'm an Anunnaki. I'm a big motherfucker. Like, the universe is big to me. This little marble is nothing. You guys can go across the whole thing. We're not going to hold you back, but you can't come into Eden. That's what it was. The primitive workers weren't allowed into Eden. Where did they take Adam and Eve? They took them straight to the Eden. Told you. The Eden was over 10,000 miles of fucking land with over 7 kingdoms in there. Sodom and Gomorrah, Eridu. All those motherfuckers were in that bitch. We're in Eden. Babylon, I think, was even in that bitch. It was a whole huge thing with a wall around it, right? What was it called? 12 labors of fucking Hercules. Go look at the one where he had to build the wall. Go look at that one. You're going to be like, what wall is that? What wall is he building? I don't get it, right? Until you start thinking about some shit. Don't think about the wall of China, but start thinking about some shit. And you'll be like, wait a minute, dude. Because all these people, see, the Bible got you fucked up thinking that all those things didn't happen in that same amount of time. They, like, Hercules was like the first. Go read some shit about some Hercules and go put Jesus in your head. When you're reading Hercules' story, you're going to be like, wait a minute. Is this motherfucker Jesus? He's the son of God, the first son of God, bro. And they killed his ass. They crucified him. It's just shit. Oh, it's the only way to kill God. You got to put the crown of thorns on his head, and you got to take away it pacifies his power. It's just some shit I watched on Warrior Nun. Tell you. That's how you pacify the gods, though. You put the crown of thorns on their head, and it takes away their power. It makes them weak. Morning, Creekwater, Regard, what up?
Cheers, Rogue Skywalker.
Rogue Skywalker,
Rick
fuck
R.
yeah.
Creekwater, Mr. Fucker, Mr. Sister Golden Hair.
Mr. Sister.
We got a lot of lovely, lovely people in here
Yep.
this morning. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
So I don't ever, like, now that I see the truth, I see the light, right? When nations go against nations, I don't really blame the person anymore, because they're following something totally different that is leading them into this war. Like, they're still pulling strings. If they weren't pulling strings, our world would be free. Like, we wouldn't have the shit we're having on our planet. You know, the Anunnaki were the first slavers. Now, on their planet, they outlawed slavery. You know, it was inhumane to them. You know, it was not right. So they outlawed slavery and made peace on their planet, and then came to our planet and instantly, with some objection to it, restarted slavery on our planet. So here's the thing. People think this is a prison planet or a planet of learning, you know, spiritualists and stuff. You know, there's other alien races that come here and do what to us? Abduct us. Abduct us. Bro, check this out. There's a galactic federal thing, like a galaxy. It's like Star Wars, dude. I'm telling you, a federal government of galactic motherfuckers, right? So this isn't a prison planet. This isn't a planet for fucking learning shit. This is a motherfucking slave planet, dude. Think about it. They outlawed slaving on all their planets because they're above now. They're enlightened, right? But they still need a slave planet. They got ours, man, full of water. This is the creation planet, right? Things just evolve here, right? Now, we watched this thing the other day where scientists literally, in the time that they've been studying this one type of fucking primate, have literally watched the thing climb out of the trees and enter the fucking Stone Age. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
They watch these monkeys climb out of the trees and start making tools. And as the job got harder, they grabbed different tools. Like they started with quartz rocks and were smashing nuts and shit. And as things got better, they started shaping these rocks and shit and then started using sticks and they had spears. I'm not fucking with you, bro. Now, Lord Enki describes the exact fucking same thing. This is the world of evolution. Like Darwin was right. He was right. But we don't live long enough
to see it happen.
Darwin was so long ago that us today can look back at all the shit, all the species and go, they are evolving.
Oh,
damn.
Wait, there's something else going on here now. Yeah.
He was right. Lord Enki watched it happen. It took him 144,000 years. But he watched humans happen. Now, here's the thing. I'm a firm believer in, things that come crashing through the night and falling from the sky and destroying the planet, right? So before the Anunnaki ever got here, right, there's no history of our planet. None. There's nothing, right? Think of how many times people could have evolved and been destroyed completely naturally with no God, right? No Anunnaki influence, just naturally destroyed from earthquakes, ice ages, shit that happens to a planet that we see on a normal basis. Like, think about when the asteroid belt was fully intact. Anything that passed through it was send scatter shot going through the fucking galaxy, bro, just hitting our planet. So look at the moon. I mean, come on. That happened to this planet at some time. And think about if there was all these different creatures that were evolving. There could be lions, there could be tigers, there could be bears. Oh my. There was monkeys, a primate creature. Like, I think one from each genome probably evolved. There's reports of this shit from our government, said to be ant people, a literally humanoid ant species that lives underground. There's reported by our government that there is a raptor, like a lizard, not Anunnaki, not the Draconians, not like that. No, they don't come from a different place. They're terrestrial. They're the actual thing that's here first, that was in the ground, like reptilians. They say they evolved from reptiles on our planet. Well, there's some black people. There's a black race of people, several of them, that evolved from a primate into us that are alive today on this fucking planet. I'm not fucking joking with you. You can look it all up. I wouldn't say it. Those are thoughts I always had. And then Google became a thing. And you're able to look shit up. You're like, wow. And then documentaries happen. And they go visit these motherfucking people. And they're like, yeah, like this is what it is here. Blah, 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 blah. We got mitochondrial DNA now. All the things that like sci-fi movies said could be happening would be true, and everything. That's not fiction, or that's fiction. That's not real. You know.
Sometimes I feel like it's the whole hide it in plain sight, and you'll never realize that it's actual fact. Like how many
sausage.
things have we been, privy to with movies and this, that, and the other, all the Star Trek stuff from back in the 70s, all the, there's just, now we look at the Star Trek stuff from back in the 70s and it's actually valid today. We have the phones that talk, the watches that you can talk to and all that jazz. Like, so, why wouldn't it be true for space and aliens?
Right. What if Star Trek, though, just hear me out. What if Star Trek was an ongoing documentary based on reports sent back from an actual space mission that was taking place at that time? Like from an Earth mission, like out in deep space. They made a spaceship. They launched it the fuck out there, right? And then these people that were on the spaceship, they knew they were never going to come home, were sending reports back. And then this dude was making a TV show about actual facts. Like, just what if? Like, I don't know, man. Stargates are real.
That's a whole fucking, that in itself, Stargate, all the movies and the shows in itself, like that.
They're describing the Anunnaki completely.
They really are tapping into the truth in that whole thing, a lot of it. And it's wild when you really just open your head to that.
Yeah.
Just change your perspective. What
completely.
If that shit is hiding in plain sight, guys?
Yeah. So, things evolve on our planet. Things will continue to evolve on our planet. I believe if this planet is destroyed, it's going to just freeze over, melt rock, the rock's going to erupt, the place will freeze over, and then boom, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 years later, more life will be growing. This is just what this planet does. I think until it's turned into Mars. Yeah. I think it's until it's turned into Mars, like a planet like Mars. Imagine when Mars was like us.
It's true, though. At one point in time, it was a fruitful planet, if you will.
Yep.
And, yes, we have Mother Gaia. She is all about, birthing things on this earth. But eventually, in some point, there might be something that happens cataclysmically that turns this planet into a Mars.
Yeah, man. First hit?
Okay.
Oh, don't mind if I do.
Cheers, Zeb from the future. Zeb is not from the past. Zeb is from the future.
Okay. It's 11:40 almost on Sunday morning.
Eastern time.
MichiganjA time, baby.
MichiganjA time.
Yep.
That's right.
So in this book, they've made the primitive worker, okay? The primitive worker, I believe, was around for like 100 shars or something like that, maybe 50 shars. And, maybe 80 shars. We'll have to read it again, but I got one. Oh. The primitive worker, which was the first creation, okay? The man was a brownish red man with brown eyes, brown woolly hair. The female creation, okay, and they just kept cloning them. They kept cloning them, making them have kids and shit. And then there was a whole bunch of them. They were like, all right, we'll put all these in the mine, and you all go out there and go fuck each other.
Proliferate.
And they did, and made a whole bunch of little tribes called African tribes. Like they're African tribes of Africa. And I'm going to get to it. Hold on. I don't want to hear none of that. You're racist, man. Shut the fuck up. I'm going to teach you about people of our planet. It's not about no race. It's about people of our planet, dude, and what happened to them, right? So they kept this man and this woman. The woman, I know all you black African queens can be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, this is not Adam and Eve. This is not Adam and Eve. This is not the civilized human slave. This is the primitive worker slave. This female, she had blonde hair. And they said that she was the color of them. I don't know. They don't say what color they are. There's all kinds of statues. You know, black people want to say that the gods were black. I've read reports that one was dark skinned and one was peach, a white god. I know. They also made statues where the dude had white skin, white beard, and blue eyes. I don't know. They said that that was their god. I don't know. I've never seen no god ever, right? Now, other people like to say that they're reptilian and want to think they have green to dark, black, grayish skin. I'm cool with whatever y'all think, okay? Now, in the Mahabharata, which is the Indian history of their people, they don't think.
I gotta go get coffee.
Oh, they don't believe that's their Bible. They don't believe that's their religious book. They believe that that is their history of their people. In that book, the Devis, right? The Devas are the bad guys. The Devas are the good guys. So the gods in the Mahabharata or the Hindu history, some of them are red, some of them are green, some of them are brown, right? Some of them are blue, right? So whatever color that damn first female was, she was not brown and red. If she was brown and red, they would have referred to her skin tone as that of the male, or they would have just said, hey, they both have our skin tone, brown and red, right? So she just vaporized in front of us. Fuck yeah, Mr. Fucker. What up, Scott? Cooley's in the house. So now if you got two people of different color that are making a whole race of people, what does that tell you? The people that are coming out are going to come out all different colors, unless possibly the man was all brown and red and the females were all this other color. I like to think they were blue or purple, because then we get blurple. You know what I'm saying? We all know when a motherfucker's black as shit, he looks purple. He looks burnt, like so purple. Now, there's such a thing. I always knew this. You can look at skin, certain pigments of skin. Do you not see the shine in the skin? Do you not see that? They are calling this prismatic melanation now. I think it's fascinating because I've always seen this in people. I could see the shine, the sparkle, the glimmer in their skin. I'm not fucking with you. This is the thing. They're starting to study it now because they realized it. I'm like, man, these motherfuckers, I've been doing this my whole fucking life, right? So now you got a whole bunch of blurple motherfuckers running around the planet, okay? Purple, basically. Purplish black. Black and purple. Brown and purple. Real dark colored people. Now, we got to find when people were worshiping the snake, right? They were worshiping Enki. And we got to go into that history there. It's in Africa. That was where the primitive worker race was. The primitive worker race stayed in the Abzu, right? In the Abzu. And then they started spreading around, but they were never allowed in the Eden, right? They went everywhere, all over the whole fucking known goddamn planet, anywhere they can go. But these people did not know technology. They did not know how to read. They did not know how to write. They did not know how to build ships. They did not know how to use technology. The only thing they know how to do was make tools, fuck, and no normal shit. Nothing else. There was no society for them. They call these the uncivilized slaves, right? Then later, and you're going to go through history and track the civilized world. And you're going to see that all through history, the civilized world takes over the uncivilized world, the barbaric, the Burberry, I think they are. This is another word for barbarian. The native, indigenous, primitive, all these words. That's all it is. The civilized slave, the kingship got passed down to that motherfucker. The civilized slave. Not the primitive worker slave, the one that was really breaking the bones and backbones and some shit, getting the gold and shit, right? Getting all the metals out of the ground. They didn't get shit. They were workers, slaves. The civilized man did. And all throughout history, the civilized slave has gone through and conquered the primitive worker class. It's all through history. When you got to wonder, why are they always taking over these indigenous people? That was the primitive worker. Why do you think they live in huts? That's primitive. They got spears and bow and arrows. That's primitive. Look at it any other way, and you're using your emotions, and you're not seeing the fucking bigger picture, dude. It's been passed down to people from the Anunnaki. They're sitting back, like eating popcorn and shit, watching their army men fight. It's like the greatest thing ever. If you imagine like your army men coming to life and really battling each other, it's like coolest thing. So here, primitive man worked for fucking however many fucking hundreds of thousands of years. Then he got horny and fucked these two chicks at the side of a pool. Now they could have been blue, they could have been black, they could have been green, they could have been brown, but whatever color they were, Adam and Eve came out. Adam and Eve came out, right? And then we all know what happened to Cain and Abel. We're going to get into the story of Cain. Who is from Cain? Which one of you motherfuckers is Cain's daddy? Who is it? Is Cain your daddy? I think someone around here is Cain's daddy. They got Cain's dad. And then here we got like the seventh man from Adam's back, right? And this is Enoch. Oh, look at that. The little buck. He's a lone buck that walks by himself every time.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I hope he never gets hit. He's
I
a
know.
little buck. He's got two horns. He's a second-year buck. I think it's the one we've always seen around here. So, seventh man, I do believe, from Adam's nutsack. And this dude's super special. This dude's super, super special in the story of the black man. Because that's what it's all about. Most of these stories in the Bible, it has nothing to do with you peach ass motherfuckers. None of you cracker ass motherfuckers. We call you crackers all goddamn day. I serve crackers here all day. We serve them. Listen though, I'm telling you, the Bible's for black people, and it's not for white people. I always said it was for the Jews. I'm not Jewish, so I don't follow the Bible. Once I realized what the hell it's saying, what is it saying? Oh shit! I mean, literally. Jesus on there and said, looks down to his people and is like, you ain't my people. Like, shit. Like, literally, dude's dying. He's like, look, you white motherfucker, you ain't my people. Shut the fuck up. I'm talking to black motherfuckers right here. We'll get to save your ass. Right? So once you read it the right way, realize everyone that was being created was of dark skin with melanation, right? And then go, holy shit, this is how we got all fucked up in the first place. Because they passed shit down. Kingship got passed down from heaven. What does that mean? They didn't just make a king. They taught these people everything they know about what they do. Everything. So that they can do the spell on us. They taught them magic and everything. Right? So here we're going to learn about the book of Enoch. And he's also known as Metatron. Okay? So if you really religious people hear Metatron and you're like, oh man, I didn't know that was Enoch. Well, I guess you're not really religious. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a huge fucking story that you got to get out of your Bible and you go read it over here. And you'd be like, damn. Oh, now I see why they left this out of the Bible. And enjoy this tale of aliens, sex, war, and confusion. This is great.
Book of Enoch.
Oh, you could have hit this anytime.
1 through 36. What follows are the first 36 chapters of the book of Enoch. Enoch, son of Jared, is a biblical character who was so righteous before God that he didn't die, but was translated into heaven. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Genesis 5:26. Enoch also had a son named Methuselah. So all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. Genesis 5:27.
So Methuselah was 969 years old. Now listen, your Bible fucking lies, okay? Because that's because they want you to think that people only lived this certain amount of time. And before the time of the flood, there was they lived longer, is what they want to try to make you think. All these motherfuckers were after the flood, though. So it's like, or no, they were before the flood. That's right. But they want you to think something. So his daddy, his grandfather, whatever it is, great grandfather, he lived 54,000 years. Okay. Now, when you look at the life of Noah, they say Noah lived like 980 years in the Bible. When you go read it in the Anunnaki story, I do believe it's a little bit longer. You know, they want you to think people weren't as godly, right? Or as Anunnaki as they were. Remember, the ancient people were 2/3 gods, 1 part whatever came from Earth, because they used 2 gods. It was Enki and fucking Nimma, I think it was. It was a female and a male Anunnaki that used their DNA and only one part DNA from human, from Earth. So that's 2 parts gods, 1 part human. And they were better creation. That's why they had to die.
Enoch was also the great-grandfather of Noah, who steered the antediluvian old world into the post-diluvian new one with the ark that he built.
The darkness.
Therefore, it comes as no surprise that any writings that Enoch was associated with would come highly recommended by Bible scholars. In fact, the early Christian church celebrated the Book of Enoch and held it in high regard. Of course, there are currently different feelings concerning the text, which you can read about in the foreword of this book at your leisure. Published here are chapters 1 through 36, which are speculated to be c. 300 BC. Readers should know that there is more to Book of Enoch, which is not...
Can you read that one time again? Because I didn't hear it. I was reading something else.
Published that whole chapter?
Whatever you just said in the last couple sentences.
Published here are chapters 1 through 36, which are speculated to be c. 300 BC.
Okay, so this is, remember, in the Lost Book of Enki, they started counting time at a certain point in time, their mission on Earth, right? I'm trying to pinpoint this fucking date and figure out what was going on, because when it's like they didn't know Jesus was going to be born. Okay, this is the bamboozle, right? Anunnaki started counting time from day 1, year 1.
The first day they landed.
No.
Oh no,
the
actually,
first
like
day 1 of human years.
Yeah.
This is when they started counting human years. They
True.
started at day 1. And on year 1000, right? Year 1000 BCE, right? Or just BC, or not even BC. It was just year 1000 because there was no Christ.
There's no reference.
When you say God knows everything, before, the after, and the middle, why didn't they know Christ was going to be born? Because in their time, they counted from day 1. Then on year 1000, they reported that they said, let's leave it to them. They've had it for this long. They're doing good. Well, we got kings going. We got religion going. So they all worship us. And we got people to control them. Let's take off. And either they went back to the Absu to go underground, or they went the fuck back to their planet Nibiru, right? So down the line, Christ is born. Okay? Now we got movies that go back 10,000 BC. So you got to take it and flip it before it 80, right? You got to flip that completely backwards. So whatever you can find in the BC, it's completely backwards, because when Christ was born or died, when Christ died, then it goes Christ everlasting or after death, right? AD. So what they did was started at like 25,000 BC and then go backwards to 1, Christ dies, and then it's 1 again. Hold the fuck on. Hold the fuck on. That's a total bamboozle of our time frame. You see what I'm saying? When it's saying we're in year 2000, bro, we're in year like 240,000 or 420,000 probably. That's what year we're really, really in. Like from the time. Now, if you go from the time of when they started human time, we literally could be in 25,000. Year 25,000. You know how when you play video games and it's got the year of the Lord and it's got all those fucking numbers and you're like 9,687? Like that could be us. Like, you know, but they fucked our time frame up because of Christ was born. So all these people were before Christ. 300 BC. The book of Enki, Lost Book of Enki, basically stops at 1,000, year 1,000. So here they're in the year 300, right? Before Christ everlasting. That's what it means. So that's going forward still in this time here that they're counting. So in the year 300, we still got 700 years of God's walking on this earth, or at least Enki and Enlil, because that's when their story stops. We still got the Greeks and everybody else, man.
Readers should know that there is more to Book of Enoch, which is not enclosed in this edition. Part of the reasoning for this is that the excluded verses don't fit within the academic confines of this particular work. I hope that as you read the Book of Enoch, you notice and appreciate the presentation of the supernatural. Above all, though, I hope that book becomes a spiritual meal that you digest slowly. These are ancient, forbidden concepts, and you are blessed to have the bulk of them in your hands right now. From Father Martin in February 2017, Denmark.
Cool.
He's the translator of the entire thing, of all of these works.
I believe, let me look something up real quick. One of these dudes found all these fucking tablets, though.
So this is not all of the Book of Enoch, but parts that
Joseph Martin?
I don't know. It says Father Martin, just as Father Martin.
Yeah, that's probably him.
Put in like a transcriber of the books of Og and Enoch or something like that. Maybe not transcriber, but what is that called?
We got it.
I can't think of the name. Translator. That's what I meant.
It's Minister Demmon.
Demmon is the one who wrote the book, but Father Martin is the one that translated it. He's the priest or monk or whomever that translated these works, and Demmon wrote the book. It was a joint effort between these two, basically. And Father Martin has changed his tune since he began the transcribes or the translations versus now in regards to his belief systems. Truly rocked him to the core when he started translating these.
Yeah. Enoch the Ethiopian. See, this is like some depictions of Enoch. Okay. You got to remember they were bronze colored people. They described the tone, the skin tone, as brown and red. We know this is bronze colored. So when you say black doesn't that doesn't even fucking compute. It doesn't work. They were bronze colored people, true, like from the earth type colors, earth tones. Like imagine a shiny brownish red person, not a like a dull brown or a black. Like imagine a glowing type person, man. Like see how my white ass shit glows here? Imagine that was their reddish brown parts that were shining. You ever see people like that? You see some skin tones like that. Come on.
Okay, chapter 1. The words of the blessing of Enoch, wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous, who will be living in the day of tribulation, when all the wicked and godless are to be removed. 2. And he took up his parable and said, Enoch, a righteous man, whose eyes were opened by God, saw the vision of the Holy One in the heavens, which the angel showed me. And from them I heard everything, and from them I understood as I saw, but not for this generation, but for a remote one, which is for to come.
Okay, so what he was saying was in his time, he was getting visions from, remember, when they made the civilized man, they was like, okay, cool. Let's keep civilized man away from these African people, Ethiopians, Egyptians, whatever fuck you want to call them. The whole continent of Africa was made with primitive workers. That's the Abzu, right? Let's keep them people separate, pregnant. Let's keep them pregnant for sure.
What?
Let's keep them pregnant for sure. I'm telling you, that's why you can't have no abortion now. They want you to have more babies. They're gonna start raping this planet for their fucking slave race. I'm telling you, watch, mark my damn words. And watch. So they got the civilized people over here, right? And the fuck were you saying? I forgot what I was saying. Shit.
I'm not sure where you were going.
Go with the last part you said.
Okay. Enoch, a righteous man, whose eyes were opened by God, saw the vision of the Holy One in the heavens, which the angel showed me. And from them I heard everything. And from them I understood as I saw, but not for this generation, but for a remote one, which is for to come.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So kingdoms passed down to heaven, right? Now we know this because it was Adam's son who was the first king of Mesopotamia, right? The first king of that kingship was right? And Enoch has been blessed by God, right? So at that time, he says up in heaven, right? So that's Enlil. He's talking about Enlil, their God, right? So Enlil's giving him visions because, you know, they had all the magic powers to put shit in people's minds and to become a spirit in front of him like a hologram. So he's getting all these visions and shit, but he's noticing. Why would he say it's not for our time? Well, he's noticing buildings and people in fucking Nikes and fucking, you know, flashy cars and rapping and movie stars. And he's seeing a different time, a distant remote. A remote means here on this planet, right? But distant time. Okay. So he's saying that he's seeing visions of the future and what's going to happen to mankind if some shit don't happen, change and shit. And he's Metatron. He's sitting next to God, Enlil, and just watching it all. He has been given the drink and the food, the bread and the water of life. So he is everlasting. Remember, Adam didn't get it, but one of his kind did. One of his blood did. Where are we at now?
Concerning the elect, I said, and took up my parable concerning them. The holy great.
Sorry, 1 second. Annie N said, who's the angels? So when we're talking about the fallen angels, those were workers that came from Nibiru. They were called the heroes. I think they were just called the heroes, something like that. But those were the Gigi, right? So those were a different class of people that were from Nibiru. Now the angels that you guys all hear about, Raphael, Michael, Gabriel, and all that, that was all sons of Enlil and their sons. And we can prove it. And we will prove it. Okay. You just hear their Israelite name or not Israelite, their Jewish name or whatever your Torah name, whatever the fuck that's all the names we got right now. They made that narrative. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The Jewish people made that narrative. It's their shalom shit. You You know what I'm saying? Our Bible is them copied from their fucking Bible, right? All those damn names, Yeshua, all those names are Jewish names. They're names. You won't find one fucking goddamn American shit in there. You know, nothing like that. You know, because we weren't alive at that time. You got to remember who was there, what area we're talking about, and who those people were that were writing the damn book. Everyone was a guy. That's what they all spoke that time. Everyone spoke the same fucking language until what? Tower of Babel. And then it was all switched. But those angels are all the fucking sons and daughters of the fucking Enlil, dude. Now, if you're talking about fallen angels, they probably rank that all on Enki, you know, and bad guys, demons. They're bad. They're from the ground. They're snakes. Sorry, babe. Go ahead.
It's okay. You're fine.
You want to hit the bowl?
No, I'm good right now.
Okay, she's hot.
Cheers, Liam. I am. Cheers,
Looney
Liam.
Tunes.
How you doing?
Looney Productions. What's up? We're Looney Tunes over here.
The Holy Great One will come forth from his dwelling, and the eternal God will tread upon the earth, even on Mount Sinai, and appear from his camp, and appear in the strength of his might from the heaven of heavens. And all shall be smitten with fear, and the watchers shall quake. And great fear and trembling shall seize them unto the ends of the earth.
Did he say the watchers shall quake?
And the watchers, with a capital W, shall quake.
Watchers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Watchers. The watchers are the Igigi. That's why we know we're talking about Enlil here. We know when they say this guy, we know we're talking about Enlil, the wrathful, the rager, right? Enki was like, hey, what's up, bros? How you guys doing up there in Mars? Oh, you want some pussy? Oh, okay, we'll make that work. And Enlil was like, oh, hell no. The watchers are the fallen angels. And that's all we're talking about in this whole book. It's great. It's great shit because Enoch was the go-between between God and the fallen angels. This is greatest shit ever, man.
And all shall be smitten with fear, and the watchers shall quake, and great fear and trembling shall seize them unto the ends of the earth. And the high mountains shall be shaken, and the high hills shall be made low, and shall melt like wax before the flame. And the earth shall be wholly rent in sunder, and all that is upon the earth shall perish, and there shall be a judgment upon all men. But with the righteous he will make peace, and will protect the elect, and mercy shall be upon them. And they shall all belong to God, and they shall be prospered, and they shall all be blessed. And he will help them all, and light shall appear unto them, and he will make peace with them. And behold, he cometh with 10,000 of his holy ones, to execute judgment upon all, and to destroy all the ungodly, and to convict all flesh of all the works of their ungodliness which they have ungodly committed, and of all the hard things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him.
Yeah. Okay.
That
now
was the parable that was concerning the future.
Now I should pull up my many videos of the Israelites marching through many towns. They're almost 10,000 strong. They're gonna be way more than 10,000 soon. Okay. This is God's chosen people who he chose to bring wrath upon all you sinners. Here's the thing. If you don't believe in that God, you ain't a sinner, bro. Sorry. You have to believe that, that he existed as a God to believe that you're a sinner in his eyes. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Come on, man. Come on. And then we got the same type of people, the same dudes, talking about they weren't a creation. We're the human creation. Where all these other people are the human creation. They evolved as an indigenous creature on this planet. That's why they're God's chosen people. Bro, you don't understand what you're talking about. You don't know who your God is then. You don't know that your God was against your creation in the beginning. That he chose your creation because your bloodline was pure and never fucked with by the watchers. Right there in the beginning of the book. He will make the watchers quake. This is this is what it's about, man. Get the goddamn story straight. Then once you guys get the story straight, you'll have love for people again. You will. You will. You're going to learn that we're all getting the whip. It's the bullshit.
Chapter 2.
What's up, Chen?
Observe ye every kind, master.
What the size of this monster over here?
How you doing?
Out of the darkness comes this black motherfucker. Get in there.
You got me all sloppy.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna can you fit? Do I need to move for you?
Bow the knee.
What? Yeah,
Bend,
you're a little squished, buddy.
Bend the knee.
Hang on.
Come this way.
Oh, Lord.
Come this way.
This fucking guy. He's good.
Rubbing his elbows on fucking shit.
Okay, chapter 2.
Back to it.
Observe ye everything that takes place in the heaven, how they do not change their orbits, and the luminaries which are in the heaven, how they all rise and set in order each in its season, and transgress not against their appointed order. Behold ye the earth, and give heed to the things which take place upon it from first to last, how steadfast they are, how none of the things upon earth change, but all the works of God appear to you. Behold the summer and the winter, how the whole earth is filled with water, and clouds and dew and rain lie upon it. Chapter 3. Observe and see how in the winter all the trees seem as though they had withered and shed all their leaves, except 14 trees, which do not lose their foliage, but retain the old foliage from 2 to 3 years till the new comes. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's very interesting. Chapter 4. And again, observe ye the days of summer, how the sun is above the earth over against it. And you seek shade and shelter by reason of the heat of the sun. And the earth also burns with growing heat. And so you cannot tread on the earth or on a rock by reason of its heat.
Now, mind you, where he was, it was desert land, rocky and shit. He was talking about walking on goddamn sand and shit. Like, oh, god damn it, this shit's hot. What's happening?
I was just saying hi.
Oh.
Cheers. Chapter 5. Observe ye how the trees cover themselves with green leaves and bear fruit. Wherefore give ye heed, and know with regard to all his works, and recognize how he that liveth forever hath made them so. And all his works go on thus from year to year forever, and all the tasks which they accomplish for him, and their tasks change not, but according as God hath ordained, so is it done.
Okay, 1 second, real quick. So here's Enoch observing the world and all the stars, and they're moving, and how other things are stationed, and all the seasons happening, and talking about seeing God's work. Now here, he's talking about real God, real frequency that is in control of everything, that makes all the pieces and parts work, right? Now you're going to see how Enlil stole this thought from all the people and said, I'm the one that is doing this. I'm the one behind it all. That's a lie. It's a lie. Because his daddy got his dick and balls cut off. That means one thing. He was born. They were born. They were born from someone else. You know what I'm saying? God is this eternal energy that can literally manifest itself into anything. And it can be a goddamn fucking the fly that's fucking with your ball sack right now. You know what I mean? It could be the lighter being used as a human. It always would manifest itself into a human form and experience the human self, right? But later, the Anunnaki literally stole this thought from people, this knowledge of this higher being, and made it into a person. Now, you holy people out there might say, well, Twisted, how do you know that that energy you're talking about didn't manifest itself into these Anunnaki beings. Why the fuck would he do slavery? Think about it, man. Why would they do that to people? If it's the all fucking frequency fucking God, why would they have that happen? That's just fucked up. They talk about God being all love and shit, and then they'll fucking instantly kill you. Come on, man. Y'all need to wake up to what's really behind it. When you feel love, when you give love, do you punch someone in their face and say, I love you? That's what your God does.
Fucking, that's tough love, baby.
That's what your God does, though. He'll literally drown you, bring you back to life, and say, I love you. I got you, though. Sorry you went through that tragedy. That's fucked up, man.
And behold how the sea and the rivers in like manner accomplish and change not their tasks from his commandments. But ye have not been steadfast, nor done the commandments of the Lord, but ye have turned away and spoken proud and hard words with your impure mouths against his greatness. O ye hard-hearted, ye shall find no peace.
Bunch of pirates.
Therefore shall ye execrate your days, and the years of your life shall perish, and the years of your destruction shall be multiplied in eternal execration, and ye shall find no mercy. In those days ye shall make your names an eternal execration unto all the righteous, and by you shall all who curse, and all the sinners and godless shall imprecate you. And for you, the godless, there shall be a curse. And all thee shall rejoice, and there shall be forgiveness of sins, and every mercy and peace and forbearance. There shall be salvation unto them, a goodly light. And for all of you sinners, there shall be no salvation, but on you all shall abide a curse.
What sin? That's what I always say. What sin? What fucking sin are you guilty of that they didn't do themselves and never get punished for?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't punish themselves. Motherfucking raped a bitch.
Let's do as I say, not as I do.
Your God raped a bitch. And she was like, well, I'm pregnant, so gotta marry him. And then he got let out. Fuck that. Fuck that. Imagine if that happened on our planet. You get to go rape a chick and she gets pregnant and says, I'll marry him. And you get out of prison, you're totally scot-free. It's nothing happened. Come on, man.
But for the elect there shall be light and joy and peace, and they shall inherit the earth. And then there shall be bestowed upon the elect wisdom, and they shall all live and never again sin, either through ungodliness or through pride. But they who are wise shall be humble. And they shall not again transgress, nor shall they sin all the days of their life, nor shall they die of the divine anger or wrath, but they shall complete the number of the days of their life. And their lives shall be increased in peace, and the years of their joy shall be multiplied in eternal gladness and peace, all of the days of their life. The fall of the angels, the demoralization of mankind, the intercession of the angels on behalf of mankind, the dooms pronounced by God on the angels, the messianic kingdom, a Noah fragment that is referred to.
Yeah. So in the last part there, it's basically the promise, of if you don't bow down to this God, you're going to live your days here, but that's all. And your days in hell, the eternal fire, is going to be doubled, multiplied, whatever. But if you're good and you suck on his balls, fluff his fucking cock and shit, you'll live a longer life here in peace. Tell me where the fuck you can find peace on this earth. Tell me where can you find it? Literally everything's a fucking bullshit. Anywhere you go, anything you do, bills are bullshit now. Gas is bullshit. Everything's bullshit in our planet. You can't really find peace here.
Used to be.
You can find peace of mind in a few minutes or a couple hours, but then you got to go back to the real world. You know what I'm saying? So it's not applying. It's not applying, right? And your days will be multiplied in heaven, right? There's no such fucking thing as heaven. Heaven's the sky. That's what they knew that heaven was back then. When they wrote these, they looked up and said that was heaven. Because you know why? Because Enlil's mothership was out there in orbit like a fixed moon fucking thing, like the Death Star, right? And he would just come down. Choo-choo. That's what they said. I came down from the fucking heavens. He was right there. They could see him. It was called the star that never sets. You know, this shit was wild, man. Go ahead, baby.
Chapter 6.
6.
And it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of the heavens, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children.
Now, real quick, 1 second. Now, you hear him say the children of men. These were an Anunnaki work class that was being fucking subjected to harsh fucking labor with no bitches for hundreds and fucking hundreds of thousands of our years on Mars with no bitches. I mean, when you talk about homosexuality, boy butthole plugging and shit, I mean, this is literally where it came from. I guarantee it. We can research more, and you're gonna find out. Fuck around more, and you find out more, right? And you know, these things were not boy lovers. The Anunnaki, they all had wives. They all talked about making their phallus drip over some titties and ass, right? Not some cock and balls, right? So it's very interesting. So when the Agigi, the fallen angels, the watchers, come down for Marduk's wedding, they just looked down and was like, oh, look at all these people. Oh, these chicks. There's hot chicks here. Now, some were the primitive workers. Some were the civilized people. They didn't have a problem with the primitive workers. They had a problem when they fucking were taking wives from the civilized slaves, right? We're going to fuck around and find out right here.
And Semyaza, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing.
Yep.
Then swear they all together and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it.
Yep. They spellcrafted themselves to go down and take bitches. Semyaza was their leader. Now, that's the Jewish name of the devil. Not Lord Enki. He's another dude. He's a dude over here. He's like the prince and shit. This dude, Semyaza, came from Mars. He's the leader. Remember, the Farmz was the first leader up there. I forgot his name. Alonzo.
I would like the Farmz.
Yeah, he was the pilot. Remember, he was the leader of fucking Mars at first, and then he came and stole the tablets of destiny. And they killed his ass. They shot a beam in his ass and vaporized his shit. Said, "Fuck you, Farmz." He was like, "Hey," and the second leader was Marduk. Marduk went on another mission over there to the moon or whatnot, and then Semyaza became the leader of the fallen angels, see? And then Marduk took up command after they all fucked up. They didn't have no leader in Mars, so Marduk, Ra, the sun god, took it over again, right? So Semyaza is the Jewish, the what do they call them? The Ashkenazi Jews. Bless you. The Ashkenazi Jews, right? That's their devil, their Satan, right? Literally, dude, they had unfair conditions. No bitches. They ran out of water on Mars. Mars dried up. The atmosphere was shit. They was like, come on, man. Why can't we come down here? You make a spot for us. We get a little like a what do they call those things? The country club. Why can't we have a country club on Earth like you got? Look at what you guys got. You got fresh water and air here. What the fuck? And women? Dude, they didn't get shit on Mars. They were being treated like shit. So they revolted. Semyaza was their leader. But my favorite dude is Lasagna. You can't say his name. If you say his name, the motherfucker shows up. You know, you can say his name twice. Don't say his name the third time, though.
And they were in all 200 who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon. And they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And these are the names of their leaders.
Ready?
Semyazaz, their leader, Arakiba, Ramael, Kokabeel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Danel, Ezekiel, these names, Barakihal.
If you were Ashkenazi Jew, you could say it perfectly.
I probably could.
Because that's what they fucking did.
Azael.
Who?
Azael.
Oh.
Amaros, Batarel, Ananel, Zakiel, Zamasapil, Zataril. Now realize I have Spanish in my mouth because it's all I speak. Turel, Jomjael, Sariel. These are their chiefs of tens.
Yeah. So
I brutalized all of them.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Y'all hear the L, right? Every
L.
one of them. L.
Is L or all? A-L or E-L? There's a couple of them that have a R-O-S. There's
just so, hey,
98% of them.
Just so you know, there's a story. It's called the Rapture, right? What does that story say? There's going to be a war on earth between heaven and hell. The gates of hell are going to open. White horse going to come out. Black horse going to come out. All these motherfuckers going to come out. Fuck us up. Right? Now, there said God is going to rapture the good people, right? And take them away from the planet. The survivors on the planet were going to do what? Not go to hell. We were going to suffer on earth for 1,000 years under the rule of the fucking devil. Damn! What's happening right now? I'm telling you, who won that war? Who won the war? I believe we literally are the people that got left back here. We're the people. We're the sinners. We're the unholy.
The
fucks.
rapture already happened.
Oh, long time ago. Long time ago. It says it happened a long time ago. God came and took his people. Mm-hmm. The Mayans said it happened. He came and took us. We took our people. And what was left behind was all the bad people. Now, it even says in that story, those bad people can repent and catch the next bus. What happened in the world ends, or the end of the world is the end, whatever. The dude raptured himself because he saved someone else. As he was the bad guy, he saved someone during the fucking rapture, and he got raptured. He's like, hell yeah. It's like, fuck yeah, I got raptured, suck my dick. You know that movie?
Yeah, kind of.
So just think of it that way, dude. We could be the left behind motherfuckers of a rapture that already happened, and demons and the devil control our world, control our media, control our music, control everything, just to keep us enslaved, soul power, baby. And
it's like terribly far-fetched.
Like they say, God and Jesus, and Lil and fucking these fucks are going to come back from Nibiru when Nibiru swings back by, like right now, right? And start taking over. And it was said that, you can have a chance to get back to them. That's only if you believe that they are the God. I believe Enki created us with a whole bunch of little science people. If I'm going to worship anybody or anything, I'm going to worship the dude who created people on this planet.
Thank you for creating
Thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate you very much. Because if you wouldn't have gone against and done it anyway, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah. Everyone else, all those other pantheons of gods, y'all need to come clean first. Y'all need to let us know exactly what the fuck happened. I want to know truth before you get any kind of worship or penance or anything. Fuck your sin. Your sin is something you made. And according to our stories that we got on our planet, y'all committed worse sins than any fucking human can ever even think about, dude. So let's keep going with this shit. This is great.
Chapter 7. And all the others together with them took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one, and began to go in unto them and to defile themselves with them.
Wait, what did they do?
And they begun to go in unto them
and unto them and into them and unto them.
Yes.
Oh.
And to defile themselves with them. And they taught them charms and enchantments and the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. And they became pregnant, and they bare great giants, whose height was 3,000 ells.
3,000 ells. So you got these fallen angels, these watchers, the actual Agigi, the people who that were getting the gold. So they'd shoot the gold off the planet to Mars. Mars would then take the gold over to Nibiru. Okay, that's what these people on Mars. And then they came down and they took wives and they taught them jewelry making and witchcraft, right? And then made them pregnant. And then here comes the giants,
who consumed all the acquisitions of men. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. And they began to sin against birds and beasts and reptiles and fish, and to devour one another's flesh and drink the blood. Then the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones.
Yeah.
Chapter 8. And Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth and the art of working them, and bracelets and ornaments, and the use of antimony, and the beautifying of the eyelids, and all kinds of costly stones, and all coloring tinctures. And they arose much they arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray and became corrupt in all their ways.
Okay, so here's the thing. You got then part into that part.
Well, no, I got a little bit left of this chapter.
Well, I don't want it to change who they're talking about real quick. Okay. So Azazel, this is my favorite dude. This is my favorite character. If it wasn't for Azazel, this is why. Okay, so the line of Adam and Eve were taught everything. Adam was taught everything that the Anunnaki knew. Everything. They said, teach him everything. He knew everything they knew. Eve was also taught a whole bunch of shit. More housewife and stuff. What do they call that? Husbandry? Something like that. Husbandry stuff. Sure. So she was taught more of that. Okay. Now, Adam and Eve, their job was to teach their entire line of people. We're talking everybody. They had to teach all them people how to do everything that they knew how to do. God didn't teach most of the things that the fallen angels taught, but the Anunnaki did teach Adam and Eve some of the things that they taught. So here's why. They were taking wives from the primitive worker race and teaching all those people everything they knew. Everything they knew, right? Because the other people already knew it all. You know, they already knew all the fucking shit. But that's why they wore robes. If you go through the Bible, we got people wearing robes, other people wearing clothes. That tells you a specific split in society. We have the slave race and we have the fucking civilized race right there in your face, but no one ever catches on to it, man. Go ahead. Just like in Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm. Semyaza taught enchantments and root cuttings. Amaros, the resolving of enchantments. Barakihal taught astrology. Kokabel, the constellations. Ezekiel, the knowledge of the clouds. Arakiel, the signs of the earth. Shamsiel, the signs of the sun. And Sariel, the course of the moon. And as men perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven. Chapter 9.
One thing real quick. Okay. Why was this a sin? Do you understand why it was a sin?
Because they didn't want humans knowing everything.
Exactly. I believe they didn't want.
It was something they held their knowledge close to. The Anunnaki held their knowledge close to their chest. And when people, the Watchers and all the other Anunnaki that kind of rebelled in a sense against that, that's when it became not okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're teaching too much to the slaves.
Exactly. So think about Native Americans. The actual indigenous American. I don't give a fuck what color you are. Who gives a fuck, right? Indigenous Indians, right? Living off the land, thinking about all the spirits of the earth, taking only what they need, right? Until what happened? The ungodly people came and taught them all about all kinds of fucked up shit. Now they got you know that Indians are the ones that were the first ones to do tobacco and to get it capitalized on tobacco, get it capitalized, and then we followed. Now they're doing casinos and stuff. They've lost their way from the true path. So that's what the sin was. They agreed, okay, we can make this fucking slave race, but we're not putting our timestamp on them though. They ain't gonna live as long as us, and we're not gonna give them any knowledge. We'll only agree to give them what knowledge we want them to have. And the fallen angels, the Watchers, the Igigis, same people, when they came down, they was like, oh no, we're going to teach them everything, man. We want these people to know and be smart. So all across the world, people got this whole enlightenment happening. Like it was the age of enlightenment happened. And what happened? Enlil shut that shit the fuck down. As quick as it started, probably 100,000 years or something, maybe 50,000 years to our time. But in like Anunnaki, like to be 3,000 years, that's not even a year for them, So having a couple years on the planet, he leaves for a while and comes back. It's like, whoa, what the fuck's going on here? Everyone's like looking up, they know astrology and shit. These motherfuckers are being in space soon, and they didn't want that. He wanted control of the slavery, just like you said. So he called it a sin. It was a sin to have sex and fornicate and get married, paint your face, know how to heal yourself from the planet. Your God deemed this shit as a sin. Come on, man. This is incredible shit. Incredible. I'd rather learn how to heal myself.
Chapter 9.
Chapter 9.
And then Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from heaven and saw much blood being shed upon the earth, and all lawlessness being wrought upon the earth. And they said one to another, the earth made without inhabitant cries the voice of their crying up to the gates of heaven. And now to you, the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men make their suit, saying, bring our cause before the Most High. And they said to the Lord of the ages, Lord of lords, God of God, King of kings, and God of the ages, the throne of thy glory standeth unto all the generations of the ages, and thy name holy and glorious and blessed unto all the ages. Thou hast made all things, and power over all things hast thou, and all things are naked and open in thy sight. And thou seest all things, and nothing can hide itself from thee. Thou seest what Azazel hath done, who hath taught all unrighteousness on earth, and revealed the eternal secrets which were preserved in heaven, which men were striving to learn. And Simyaza, to whom thou hast given authority to bear rule over his associates. And they have gone to the daughters of men upon the earth, and have slept with the woman, and have defiled themselves, and revealed to them all kinds of sins. And the women have borne giants, and the whole earth has thereby been filled with blood and unrighteousness. And now, behold, the souls of those who have died are crying, and making their suit to the gates of heaven, and their lamentations have ascended, and cannot cease, because of the lawless deeds which are wrought on the earth. And thou knowest all things before they come to pass, and thou seest these things, and thou dost suffer them. and thou dost not say to us what we are to do to them in regard to these.
So that's incredible. They're sitting in, the garden, a walled fucking huge area with a bunch of cities in it. They're looking out. They're like, God damn, there's giants everywhere. These fucking women are doing some crazy shit. Look at these fucking things. 200. Well, that was the leaders. No, it was in total 200.
I think it was in total. Yeah. 200
fallen angels wreaked that much havoc. I mean, they banged a lot of women. They must have. And they had a whole bunch of, you understand, they created a whole nother race.
I was going to say, they created a whole nother race and society and belief system in themselves.
And Samyaza declared himself the leader of all that. All the people, all the human, half fucking, they called them giants or Raphaim, right? These are the Raphaim we're talking about, the offspring. Now, who do you think the Raphaim was banging? They sometimes stayed in their own race, but they went and grabbed motherfucking humans too. If they didn't eat them, they was having kids with them. So the damn Raphaim, or the giants of the fallen angels, also created a whole nother fucking race of people.
Domino effects.
They created people. You understand? So as Enlil and everyone's looking down, they're like, hold up, man. These were my fucking slaves. Like, what are you doing over here? Now you're trying to take control. You made a whole nother race. These ones are eating those ones. Bro, we need them to mine the gold. And they were like, fuck your gold. Mars is lost. Fuck you. We're here fucking people. We don't care. Now, in the Lost Book of Enki, we learned that, they stole the me formulas. They stole the fucking tablets of destiny. They fucked shit over. They stole the command center to go back to Nibiru. They was going to go and take over space. And they were like, no, you can't do that. All right, look, we're going to give you a couple cities here in the fucking garden. Sodom and Gomorrah. You guys go and butt sex over there. Now follow the story. I think this is where it came from. These damn angels. Fallen angels come down and boy loving butt sexing because they was on Mars for so long with no women. What do you do when you're in prison? Hey. So that's what I was told. I've seen movies and shit. Never been to prison, thank God. And mine's like whistle squeaky clean. So look, they give him Sodom and Gomorrah, right? But it gets so bad there that Enlil, gods, got to fucking destroy the place with brimstone and fire. So he grabs fucking belter loaders, that shit, throws the damn asteroid down at him. It breaks up our atmosphere and becomes brimstone and fire. See? Yeah, it's a goddamn asteroid coming down at you. And so then after he kicks him out of the garden, out of those two cities, he's like, all right, look, you got to go somewhere else. There's an old mine shaft over there where they was mining gold and shit. You go over there. You call that shit the gates of hell. I don't give a fuck what you call it. And you go live in there. And then throughout time, all throughout the whole damn Bible, they were talking about that exact same spot where the motherfucking, these fallen angels, the Agigi, all them motherfuckers went. And that's where they lived. They lived right there, right in front of that damn gates of hell. Know what that is? That's Enlil's first house and the landing pad where they would come and land there. Right there in Lebanon, motherfuckers. The Temple of Baal. It's a fascinating story, this shit is. What are you on, chapter 11 already?
Chapter 10.
Oh, 10.
Then said the Most High, the Holy and Great One, spake, and sent Uriel to the son of Lamech, and said to him, Go to Noah and tell them in my name, hide thyself, and reveal to him the end that is approaching, that the whole earth will be destroyed, and a deluge is about to come upon the whole earth, and will destroy all that is on it. And now instruct him that he may escape, and his seed may be preserved for all the generations of the world. And again the Lord said to Raphael, Bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is in Judael, and cast him therein, and place upon him rough and jagged rocks, and cover him with darkness, and let him abide there forever, and cover his face, that he may not see light. And on the day of the great judgment he shall be cast into the fire, and heal the earth which the angels have corrupted, and proclaim the healing of the earth, that they may heal the plague, and that all the children of men may not perish through all the secret things that the watchers have disclosed and have taught their sons. And the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin. And to Gabriel, said the Lord, proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication and the children of the watchers from amongst men, and cause them to go forth. Send them one against the other, that they may destroy each other in battle. For length of days shall they not have, and no request that they, their fathers, make of thee shall be granted unto their fathers on their behalf. For they hope to live an eternal life, and that each one of them will live 500 years. And the Lord said unto Michael, go bind Semyaza and his associates who have united themselves with women, so as to have defiled themselves with them in all their uncleanness. And when their sons have slain one another, and they have seen the destruction of their beloved ones, bind them fast for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth, till the day of their judgment and of their consummation and of their consummation.
Sorry.
Till the judgment forever and ever is consummated. In those days they shall be led off to the abyss of fire, and to the torment and the prison in which they shall be confined forever. And whosoever shall be condemned and destroyed will from thenceforth be bound together with them to the end of all generations, and destroy all the spirits of the reprobate and the children of the watchers, because they have wronged mankind. Destroy all wrong from the face of the earth, and let every evil work come to an end, and let the plant of righteousness and truth appear, and it shall prove a blessing. The works of righteousness and truth shall be planted in truth and joy forevermore.
So, was that?
No, that was the end of.
Why? Okay, so that was what they said they were going to do, right? And they destroyed everything, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. They were still giants. They were still, everything they were talking about was still there. They were in smaller numbers, of course, but they fuck a lot. And they made more people. They made more people, goddammit. You know, or we wouldn't have the stories of all these giants in the Bible. We wouldn't have the Ark of the Covenant and motherfuckers walking around killing all the Anunnaki and all the damn giants that were as tall as mountains. We wouldn't have the book of the 100,000 giants right before this. That is exactly what they're talking about right there when they was like, yo, I want Raphael, Michael, Gabriel, yo, take up arms against these motherfucking giants and go kill them in this war. Because their days are numbered anyway. They're only all going to live 500 years because they knew that that flood was coming.
Happening.
They knew that flood was coming. And so they're like, yo, but before that, I want you to go kill these motherfuckers and then turn them against each other. Remember the dark ones?
And then shall all the righteous escape, and shall live till they beget thousands of children. And all the days of their youth and their old age shall they complete in peace. And then shall the whole earth be tilled in righteousness, and shall all be planted with trees and be full of blessing. And all desirable trees shall be planted on it, and they shall plant vines on it. And the vine which they plant thereon shall yield wine in abundance. And as for all the seed which is sown thereon, each measure of it shall bear 1,000, and each measure of olives shall yield 10 presses of oil. And cleanse thou the earth from all oppression, and from all unrighteousness, and from all sin, and from all godlessness, and all the uncleanness that is wrought upon the earth destroy from off the earth. And all the children of men shall become righteous, and all nations shall offer adoration, and shall praise me, and all shall worship me, and the earth shall be cleansed from all defilement, and from all sin, and from all punishment, and from all torment, and I will never again send them upon it from generation to generation and forever.
Yeah.
Chapter 11. And in those days I will open the store chambers of blessing which are in the heaven, so as to send them down upon the earth over the work and labor of the children of men. And truth and peace shall be associated together throughout all the days of the world and throughout all the generations of men. Chapter 12. Before these things Enoch was hidden, and no one of the children of men knew where he was hidden, and where he abode, and what had become of him. And his activities had to do with the watchers, and his days were with the holy ones. And I, Enoch, was blessing the Lord of majesty and the King of the ages, and lo, the watchers called me, Enoch the scribe, and said to me, Enoch, thou scribe of righteousness, go declare to the watchers of the heaven, who have left the high heaven, the holy eternal place, and have defiled themselves with women, and have done as the children of earth do, and have taken unto themselves wives. Ye have wrought great destruction on the earth, and ye shall have no peace nor forgiveness of sin, and inasmuch as they delight themselves in their children, the murder of their beloved ones they shall see, and over the destruction of their children shall they lament, and shall make supplication unto eternity, but mercy and peace shall ye not attain. Chapter 13. And Enoch went and said, Azazel, thou shalt have no peace. A severe sentence has gone forth against thee to put thee in bonds, and thou shalt not have toleration nor request granted to thee, because of the unrighteousness which thou hast taught, and because of all the works of godlessness and unrighteousness and sin which thou hast shown to men. Then I went and spoke to them all together, and they were all afraid, and fear and trembling seized them. And they besought me to draw up a petition for them, that they might find forgiveness, and to read their petition in the presence of the Lord of heaven. For from thenceforward they could not speak with him, nor lift up their eyes to heaven for shame of their sins, for which they had been condemned. Then I wrote out their petition, and the prayer in regard to their spirits and their deeds individually, and in regard to their requests, that they should have forgiveness and length of days. And I went off and sat down at the waters of Dan, in the land of Dan, to the south of the west of Hermon. I read their petition till I fell asleep, and behold, a dream came to me, and visions fell down upon me, and I saw visions of chastisement, and a voice came bidding me, I to tell it to the sons of heaven, and reprimand them. And when I awaked, I came unto them, and they were all sitting gathered together, weeping, in Abelsjael, which is between Lebanon and Seneser, with their faces covered. And I recounted before them all the visions which I had seen in sleep, and I began to speak the words of righteousness, and to reprimand the heavenly watchers. Chapter 14. The book of the words of righteousness, and of the reprimand of the eternal watchers, in accordance with the command of the Holy Great One in that vision. I saw in my sleep that I will now say with a tongue of flesh and with the breath of my mouth, which the Great One has given to men, to converse therewith and understand with the heart. As he has created and given to man the power of understanding the word of wisdom, so hath he created me also, and given me the power of reprimanding the watchers, the children of heaven. I wrote out your petition, and in my vision it appeared thus, that your petition will not be granted unto you throughout all the days of eternity, and that judgment has been finally passed upon you. Ye, your petition will not be granted unto you. And from henceforth you shall not ascend into heaven until all eternity. And in bonds of the earth the decree has gone forth to bind you for all the days of the world, and that previously you shall have seen the destruction of your beloved sons, and ye shall have no pleasure in them, but they shall fall before you by the sword, and your petition on behalf shall not be granted, nor yet on your own, even though you weep and pray and speak all the words containing in the writing which I have written. And the vision was shown to me thus. Behold, in the vision clouds invited me, and a mist summoned me. And the course of the stars and the lightnings sped and hastened me. And the winds in the vision caused me to fly and lifted me upward, and bore me into heaven. And I went in till I drew nigh to a wall which is built of crystals, and surrounded by tongues of fire. And it began to affright me. And I went into the tongues of fire, and drew nigh to a large house, which was built of crystals, and the walls of the house were like a tessellated floor made of crystals, and its groundwork was of crystal. Its ceiling was like the path of the stars and the lightnings, and between them were fiery cherubim, and their heaven was clear as water. A flaming fire surrounded the walls, and its portals blazed with fire. And I entered into that house, and was hot as fire and cold as ice. There were no delights of life therein. Fear covered me, and trembling got hold of me. And as I quaked and trembled, I fell upon my face, and I beheld a vision. And lo, there was a second house, greater than the former, and the entire portal stood open before me, and it was built of flames of fire. And in every respect it so excelled in splendor and magnificence and extent that I cannot describe to you its splendor and its extent. And its floor was on fire, of fire, and above it were lightnings and the path of the stars. And its ceiling also was flaming fire. And I looked and saw therein a lofty throne. Its appearance was as crystal, and the wheels thereof as the shining sun. And there was the vision of cherubim. And from underneath the throne came streams of flaming fire, so that I could not look thereon. And the great glory sat thereon, and his raiment shone more brightly than the sun, and was whiter than any snow. None of the angels could enter and could behold his face, by reason of the magnificence and glory, and no flesh could behold him. The flaming fire was round about him, and a great fire stood before him, and none around could draw nigh him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him, yet he needed no counselor. And the most holy ones who were nigh to him did not leave by night nor depart from him. And until then I had been prostrate on my face, trembling. And the Lord called me with his own mouth, and said to me, Come hither, Enoch, and hear my word. And one of the holy ones came to me and waked me. And he made me rise up and approach the door, and I bowed my face downwards. And he answered and said to me, and I heard his voice, Fear not, Enoch, thou righteous man and scribe of righteousness, approach hither and hear my voice. And go, say to the watchers of heaven, who have sent thee to intercede for them, You shall intercede for men, and not men for you. Wherefore have ye left the nigh, holy and eternal heaven, and lain with women, and defiled yourselves with the daughters of men, and taken to yourselves wives, and done like the children of earth, and begotten giants as your sons? And though ye were holy, spiritual, living the eternal life, you have defiled yourselves with the blood of women, and have begotten children with the blood of flesh, and as the children of men have lusted after flesh and blood, as those also do who die and perish.
See how they're hypocrites? Straight up, that's coming from God and Lil, saying, oh man, you guys are banging women and making kids. They all did that. They all did that.
They did.
Bullshit, man.
Therefore have I given them wives also, that they might impregnate them, and beget children by them, that thus nothing might be wanting to them on earth. But you were formerly spiritual, living the eternal life, and immortal for all generations of the world. And therefore I have not appointed wives for you. For as for the spiritual ones of the heaven, in heaven is their dwelling. And now the giants, who are produced from the spirits and flesh, shall be called evil spirits upon the earth. and on the earth shall be their dwelling.
You see?
Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies because they are born from men, and from the holy watchers is their beginning and primal origin. They shall be evil spirits on earth, and evil spirits they shall be called. As for the spirits of heaven, in heaven shall be their dwelling. But as for the spirits of the earth, which were born upon the earth, and the earth shall be their dwelling. And the spirits of the giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, do battle, and work destruction on the earth, and cause trouble. They take no food, but nevertheless hunger, and thirst, and cause offenses. And these spirits shall rise up against the children of men and against the women, because they have proceeded from them.
Yep. So don't get it twisted. They're talking about real flesh and bone and blood giants, real life giants, not a spirit. The spirit was the Anunnaki watchers, right? So when they say evil spirit, that means the evil was the act they did with the human, mixing their spirit with the flesh of the human. Remember, only Enki had the God seed to produce people. You know what I'm saying? I guess Enlil did too, because he made Hercules and all these other people and stuff.
But the Watchers didn't.
They did not.
They were supposed to be heaven, and heaven forever, everlasting in heaven, which their commingling was the sin, and they create abominations of the giants, which were then evil. Because they were of men. Yes.
They were never supposed to come to earth. That's what they mean when they say you're supposed to be in heaven the whole time. You're supposed to be in space, bro.
Yeah, you were supposed to be everlasting up there, and you came and you defiled. You defiled earth because we told you to stay up there. Even though they even said, I have given them wives to impregnate them and beget children by them. He even said we're good down here. We can do that, but you can't.
Yeah.
Like that was a no-no. They even said it right there. All right, next chapter. From the days of the slaughter and destruction and death of the giants, from the souls of whose flesh the spirits having gone forth, shall destroy without incurring judgment. Thus shall they destroy until the day of the consummation, the great judgment in which the age shall be consummated. Over the watchers and the godless ye shall be wholly consummated. And now as to the watchers who have sent thee to intercede for them, who had been aforetime in heaven, say to them, you have been in heaven, but all the mysteries had not yet been revealed to you, and you knew worthless ones, and these in the hardness of your hearts you have made known to the women, and through these mysteries women and men work much evil on earth.
Ha.
Say to them, therefore, you have no peace.
You heard that. They said, you guys were you've been in heaven and you knew all of its mysteries, but you didn't know what we were doing on earth. And you came here and you grabbed the worthless people and taught them everything you know. You fucked up our whole program. They were supposed to be worthless people. Civilized, primitive workers. You see what I'm saying? It's not about...
They threw a wrench in their plans.
It wasn't about anything. They took the worthless humans. They were only good for one thing. They were a tool. The other people were civilized, making buildings and shit. You know, having money and stuff like that. You know, these other ones were worthless. They were primitive, just wandering around. They would go grab them whenever they needed them and put them to work. They came and grabbed all them motherfuckers and taught them all kinds of shit. Good Lord. Good Lord. Hallelujah. Amen.
Chapter 17. And they took and brought me to a place in which those who were there were like flaming fire. And when they wished, they appeared as men. And they brought me to the place of darkness and to a mountain, the point of which of whose summit reached to heaven. And I saw the places of the luminaries and the treasures of the stars and of the thunder, and in the uttermost depths where were a fiery blow and arrows and their quiver, and a fiery sword and all the lightnings. And they took me to the living waters, and to the fire of the west, which receives every setting of the sun. And I came to a river of fire, in which the fire flows like water and discharges itself into the great sea towards the west. I saw the great rivers, and came to the great river, and to the great darkness, and went to the place where no flesh walks. I saw the mountains of the darkness of winter, and the place whence all the waters of the deep flow. I saw the mouths of all the rivers of the earth, and the mouth of the deep. Chapter 18.
That'd be intense.
Yeah.
Be intense. How many times did he say Antarctica? Oh, tons.
I saw the treasuries of all the winds. I saw how he had furnished with them the whole creation and the firm foundations of the earth. And I saw the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the four winds which bear the earth and the firmament of the heaven. And I saw how the winds stretch out the vaults of heaven and have their station between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of the heaven. I saw the winds of heaven which turn and bring the circumference of the sun and all the stars to their setting. I saw the winds on the earth carrying the clouds. I saw the paths of the angels. I saw at the end of the earth the firmament of the heaven above. I proceeded and saw a place which burns day and night, where there are 7 mountains of magnificent stones, 3 towards the east and 3 towards the south. And as for those towards the west, one was of colored stone, and one of pearl, and one of jacinth, and those towards the south of red stone. But the middle one reached to heaven like the throne of God, of alabaster, and the summit of the throne was of sapphire. And I saw a flaming fire, and beyond these mountains is a region of the end in the great earth, where the heavens were completed. And I saw a deep abyss with columns of heavenly fire, and among them I saw columns of fire fall, which were beyond measure, alike towards the height and towards the depth. And beyond that abyss I saw a place which had no firmament of the heaven above, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. There was no water upon it, and no birds, but it was a waste and horrible place. I saw there 7 stars like great burning mountains, and to me, when I inquired regarding them, the angel said, "This place is the end of heaven and earth. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. And the stars which roll over the fire are they which have transgressed and the commandment of the Lord in the beginning of their rising, because they did not come forth at their appointed times. And he was wroth with them, and bound them to the time when their guilt should be consummated, even for 10,000 years." Chapter 19. And Uriel said to me, "Here shall stand the angels who have connected themselves with women, and their spirits, assuming many different forms, are defiling mankind, and shall lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as gods. Here shall they stand till the day of the great judgment, in which they shall be judged till they are made an end of."
So see, they're talking about these watchers and the giants. I know it sounds real spiritual and real like angelic and shit, but don't get it twisted. They're still talking about these motherfuckers that came to Earth and banged Earth chicks and made giants. Now, when you go back through, you might say, "Twisted," it kind of sounds like they're talking about the real God. I understand what you're talking about. It sounds like the God I know, right? The frequency God, the God that really did make everything. But I told you, he stole it. He stole that title. When you go back and look, who is Azazel? In the Sumerian tablets, you're going to find Azazel, Lazaza. You're going to find Semyaza. And then you're going to know that these stories are the same story. And who were they opposing? Who was Azazel and Lasagna and Semyaza opposing? Right? They were opposing Enlil. Not Anki. Anki didn't give a fuck. He was down there mining and shit. He didn't care about no command center. He probably did a little bit, but you know what I mean.
He had his own goals and stuff. Like Enlil definitely wanted to be the ruler.
I could see him being pissed that his creation was being defiled.
Yeah.
But we know that Enki was not trying to kill people. He did not want the people to die.
He was the creator.
Exactly.
He loved his people.
Enlil said, all these motherfuckers must die. And they were like, but can't we save some and shit? They're like, nope, they all gonna die.
Yeah, Enlil didn't even want us. He said, hell no, you can't make things like, no. Thanks to Enki, we are here. And he did it anyway.
Yep. and then the ones that said, hey, man, you guys can't come down and bang Earth chicks. And then they're like, what's it like? You know you can't do that, right? So we're going to reprimand you, but how did it feel? Was it good? And then what happened? Hercules, Achilles, Samson. Hello? Those were not fallen angels' children. Those were fucking Zeus's kids, bro. When you say Zeus, who's Zeus?
They had godlike, they're like, there's a difference between their capabilities and giants. Like giants were probably big, or even they were bigger than them actually.
Huge.
But they were not, you know, I don't know. I feel like they weren't as intelligent. They weren't as maybe as advanced as some of these people were.
That's probably not quite true.
Possibly not, but I get the feeling of that.
Like, what's his name? Hephaestus or something like that. He was the giant who made the armor for Zeus and all those different people. So
that's true.
You got to think that Azazel,
they were looked down upon, I guess.
Well, for sure.
Yeah.
Azazel taught the humans about all that shit, witchcraft and everything. Mm-hmm. So don't you think the moms taught the kids?
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
So the giants knew magic.
Yeah.
They were the alchemists. When you go back in the Bible and you think about Philosopher's Stone and shit, you're thinking about a wizard like my size. Old dude. No. The dude was as tall as my house. You know, these were giant everywhere people. Everybody was a giant. Now, when they say that these fallen angels begot giants, oh, we're talking about a whole new class of big motherfuckers that were super intelligent, knew all about astrology, knew all about everything. Now, to us smooth talking, fast moving motherfuckers like we are, those things look like dumb, slow creatures. You know, raw. But go walk through your land. Go walk through your city. See how many 20 to 30 foot tall doors you can find. How tall are we? Who the fuck would make a 30-foot tall door? Oh, for art? Fuck you. Why wouldn't I use that 30, 10, 20 feet and put art there then? Why would I make a big fucking door, right? Giants built all that shit. Giants made what we see. You know, when I hear people saying like, oh, we built that shit, then you guys stole our culture and made us slaves and shit. Bullshit. You weren't giants. Giants made that shit. Look at the windows. Look at the fucking, all the shit they found, the books, the weapons, the doorways. Everything was created by these giant beings. We somehow won this giant war, and we are the people who inherited all the stuff. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and let's finish this up.
And the woman also of the angels who went astray shall become sirens. And I, Enoch, alone saw the vision and the end of all things, and no man shall see as I have seen.
So that was Enoch's vision. Okay. He didn't go anywhere. The angel, was it Uriel, put this in his head to see this vision, just like in the movie Noah. Noah was drowning and saw the animals trying to survive and shit, right? Very vague visions. But you heard him talk about the 7 mountains of Antarctica, right? You heard him talk about going into the hole, right? The hole in the middle of the earth. Yeah, you heard him talk about going into the pit. Oh, motherfucker. The fiery shit that comes out of the fucking ends of the earth. Oh, man. I don't know if y'all caught that.
So we are only halfway through this. Do you want to do all of it today?
No.
Okay. I was going to say we're on chapter 20 now. So this might be
a good... 22?
Okay.
Where you at? I want to talk.
No, that's okay. I was just thinking of a good place to stop.
22.
So.
22 is a great spot.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's all I'm moving. All right. Chapter 20. And these are the names of the holy angels who watch. Uriel, one of the holy angels who is over the world and over Tartarus. Raphael, one of the holy angels who is over the spirits of men. Raguel, one of the holy angels who takes vengeance on the world of the luminaries. Michael, one of the holy angels, to wit, he that is set over the best part of mankind and over chaos. Serachiel, one of the holy angels who is set over the spirits who sin in the spirit. Gabriel, one of the holy angels who is over paradise and the serpents and the cherubim. Remiel, one of the holy angels whom God sent over those who rise. Chapter 21. And I proceeded to where things were chaotic, and I saw there something horrible. I saw neither a heaven above nor a firmly founded earth, but a place chaotic and horrible. And there I saw 7 stars of the heaven bound together in it, like great mountains and burning with fire. And then I said, for what sin are they bound, and on what account have they been cast hither? Then said Uriel, one of the holy angels, who was with me, and was chief over them, and said, Enoch, why dost thou ask, and why art thou eager for the truth? These are of the number of the stars of heaven, which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord, and are bound here till 10,000 years, the time entailed by their sins are consummated. And from thence I went to another place, which was still more horrible than the former. And I saw a horrible thing, a great fire there which burnt and blazed, and the place was cleft as far as the abyss, being full of great descending columns of fire. Neither its extent or magnitude could I see, nor could I conjecture. Then I said, how fearful is the place, and how terrible to look upon. Then Uriel answered me, one of the holy angels who was with me, and said unto me, Enoch, why hast thou such fear and affright? And I answered, because of this fearful place, and because of the spectacle of the pain. And he said unto me, this place is the prison of the angels, and here they will be imprisoned forever.
Yeah. So he's talking about portals here.
He's talking about Sheol, or the underworld.
Yeah. There's portals to get to these spots.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I call it Shalom, Sheol, right? These are the places in inner earth. It's next to Agartha, and they war with each other. If you go to the Inner Earth Chronicles, you're going to hear about these two places.
Chapter 22. And thence I went to another place, and he showed me in the west another great and high mountain and of hard rock. And there was in it 4 hollow places, deep and wide and very smooth. How smooth are the hollow places, and deep and dark to look at. An alternate translation of that. And there were 4 hollow places in it, deep and very smooth. 3 of them were dark and 1 bright. And there was a fountain of water in its midst. And I said, how smooth are these hollow places, and deep and dark to view. So those were 2 different translations of that particular spot. Then Raphael answered, one of the holy angels who was with me, and said unto me, these hollow places have been created for this very purpose, that the spirits of the souls of the dead should assemble therein. Ye that all the souls of the children of men should assemble here. And these places have been made to receive them till the day of their judgment, until their appointed period. To the period,
right? That space was created by them to spell trap us.
And these places have been made to receive them till the day of their judgment, until their appointed period, to the period appointed to the great judgment comes upon them. I saw the spirits of the children of men who were dead, and their voice went forth to heaven and made suit. Then I asked Raphael, the angel who was with me, and I said unto him, this is spirit whose is it whose voice goeth forth and maketh suit? Another alternate translation. I saw the spirit of a dead man making suit, and his voice went forth to heaven and made suit. And I asked Raphael, the angel who was with me, and I said unto him, the spirit which maketh suit, whose is it, whose voice goeth forth and maketh suit to heaven? And he answered me, saying, this is the spirit which went forth from Abel, whom his brother Cain slew, and he makes his suit against him till his seed is destroyed from the face of the earth, and his seed is annihilated from amongst the seed of men. Then I asked regarding it, and regarding all the hollow places, why was one separated from the other? And he answered me and said unto me, these three have been made that the spirits of the dead might be separated, and such division has been made for the spirits of the righteous, in which there was the bright spring of water. And such has been made for sinners when they die and are buried in the earth, and judgment has not been executed on them in their lifetime. Here their spirits shall be set apart in this great pain till the great day of judgment and punishment, and buried in the earth, and judgment has not been executed on them in their lifetime. Here their spirits shall be set apart in this great pain till the great day of judgment and punishment and torment of those who curse forever, and retribution for their spirits.
One second. Now you kind of get the sense of why motherfuckers burned each other on pyres. Look what they're saying. They're saying if you sinned, in their eyes, any kind of sin, back then murder was the case, bro. So if you sinned, in their eyes, you had to go in this place and be tormented in pain forever, for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years, or you could just be burnt on a pyre and set free. Cool, see you. That's pretty interesting to hear that.
There he shall bind them forever, and such a division has been made for the spirits of those who make their suit, who make disclosures concerning their destruction, when they were slain in the days of the sinners. Such has been made for the spirits of men, who were not righteous but sinners, who were complete in transgression, and of the transgressors. They shall be companions, but their spirits shall not be slain in the day of judgment, nor shall they be raised from thence. Then I blessed the Lord of glory and said, blessed be my Lord, the Lord of righteousness, who ruleth forever. An alternate translation of 8 and 9. Then I asked regarding all the hollow places, why is one separated from the other? And he answered me, saying, these three have been made that the spirits of the dead might be separated, and this division has been made for the spirits of the righteous, in which there is the bright spring of water. And this has been made for sinners when they die and are buried in the earth, and judgment has not been executed upon them in their lifetime. Here their spirits shall be set apart in this great pain till the great day of judgment, scourgings and torments of the accursed forever, so that there may be retribution for their spirits. There he shall bind them forever. And this division has been made for the spirits of those who make their suit, who make disclosures concerning their destruction, when they were slain in the days of their sinners. And this has been made for their spirits of men, who shall not be righteous, but sinners, who are godless, and of the lawless they shall be companions, but their spirit shall not be punished in the day of judgment, nor shall they be raised from thence. Then I blessed the Lord of glory and said, blessed art thou, Lord of righteousness, who rulest over the world. So that second translation of part 9, I thought was a lot clearer than the first in regards to each of those separations and myself.
Yep.
But that was the end of 22. And halfway through,
yep.
A little bit more than halfway.
Super dope and interesting, though. So he's going around. There's 12 portals on our planet. 12 tribes of Israel, 12 portals. It's on the portal of the thing. 12 constellations. It's all the same thing. So in these portals, those are the hollow spaces they're talking about. Literally, the abyss is there. Purgatory is there. right? Purgatory is where they're talking about the angels go. The only place strong enough to hold those spiritual, powerful beings, you know. The other place is just normal. You see here, the ones who believe get the punishment. You heard. They got the whole planet on a soul trap. It's a soul spirit trap. You can't get out of it. But if you don't believe in the shit, you ain't getting tortured. You just got to sit there in the dark. Who gives a fuck? You're light. You are light. Think how many motherfuckers going to be there with you smoking weed. Baby, come on now. You're going to have tons of company, and you're all going to know the truth is what it's going to be. Once you become spirit and rip this flesh away, this doesn't interfere with things. These don't interfere with things. You know, right? And when you know, they said, we put the godless ones here. So when they're spirit, they know everything, and they're still godless. Let's tell you something immediately. Come on now, man. I just want to know, like, what gives them the right? What makes them powerful? Where are the other species in this galaxy? Is it only them? Where are other, universal? Where's the universal cops? Is there? Like, this is not the all-powerful being that created this universe. The Anunnaki, they can't be. There's no fucking way. They talk about being created. They talk about evolving. They talk about war. They talk about slavery on their planet. They talk about kings being cupbearers and getting balls bit off and shit. You know what I'm saying? The almighty powerful being. Does it have a family? Did he come from a family? Was he born? Is he the almighty powerful being if he's born? Think about it. Are your parents more powerful than you, bro? It was both of them that created you. So think about it. Those are just some questions I got before I bow down to any damn thing. Fuck you, take my flags. I don't give a, well, death is the beginning. And they taught us that. If they knew that, you got to understand, they learned how to ascend on our planet. They learned how to reincarnate people, bring their soul back into their body on our planet. So you got to think they passed down the kingship from heaven and also taught us how to worship them. Enoch is a puppet. If you don't see that, he's just a spiritual puppet. They taught him how to see, how to think, and how to react to them. See? How come everybody else through history is talking about these things were flesh and blood and beings that sat on throne, but he's seeing them as fiery fucking beings and shit with swords flaming and shit like that. He's seeing Bible. Everyone else around him saw what they were. See what I'm saying? He was indoctrinated. He was blinded by their light, and they made him see what they wanted him to see. You know what I mean? And it describes it. Maybe it's a bit poetic how he describes things, but I think he was doing what he saw, what he literally saw, and it goes in depth and deeper and more and more. And it's crazy though, because they knew what they were at the time. Like Enoch is playing, like he's playing the holy man role. Who do you guys think Uriel is? And Gabriel, remember Enlil, he drew lots or whatever. He made all his sons and daughters and shit. They had different jobs. That's why there's God of the sky, God of water, God of the fish, God of the grain, God of this, God of that, right? There were so many of these motherfuckers. And they all needed a job. They were all just sitting around doing shit. So they all needed something to do. So he gave them all something to do. And here Enoch's describing what some of these guys got jobs to do, And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool when you connect them. And you're going to find out, You fuck around and you find out.
You do indeed.
Yep. And a lot of these go into the Greek gods, like his philosophy of what they did and who they were appointed over. You can find a lot of that in the Greek pantheon. And it tells more about who's what. Who's it's, what's it's. Seymour Cannabis, what up?
Cheers.
So I hope you guys learned something today. We didn't quite get to Noah yet. We're in Methuselah, which is a dope motherfucker. Enoch, which is a dope motherfucker. And soon is Noah. And you're going to see what color Noah was, because it's super important. You know, when we're talking about the father of my 3 sons that gave birth to supposedly all the humans on earth, you need to know possibly what color he was. And you'll know where the dominant gene come from. You know? Because males pass on the dominant gene, don't they?
Usually, but not always.
So the male passes the dominant gene on, and we're going to find out what that dominant gene in that male was. So you might think, well, that might be a recessive trait in a woman, not in the man. You got to understand what we're talking about here. Why do you think everything was built around the man? Even though the woman is how we're all here, right? Everything was built on the man's genetics, though. You know, the man was the one working. Now, I wonder if the women were in the mines. Probably not, though. I think the women's was birthing people. They was doing the husbandry shit.
Yeah.
House stuff, cooking, cleaning, you know, making sure there's a teepee.
Huh.
All right, everybody.
Cheers, everybody. Until next week, we will finish the book of Enoch next week.
One more Toki.
One more Toki. Happy Sunday, fun day.
It can't hide the truth, man. It's all written. It's all written there. People get stuck in the wrong time frame, wrong centuries and stuff like that. Don't stop finding history when it fits a narrative you like. You know what I'm saying? Find out the truth, man. Try to find the absolute fucking truth. Maybe we'll find it. Maybe we won't. But hey, if some fucking God ever comes here, some Anunnaki lands here, I got some questions, bro, before I bend any knee. You know what I mean? And if we come to an outcome where we don't bend no knee, then hey, it's all good, man. You know, it's all good because we are everlasting beings of light. Don't ever forget that.
Absolutely.
We love you guys.
Peace out.
Pieces.
Happy Sunday. Thanks for joining us.
Of cannabis and cheese. Later.
Until next time.